So good afternoon and welcome to another episode on Discover with Yoka. So today we are going to be talking about Tompolo and why it feels like it's almost impossible for the federal government of Nigeria to arrest him. I mean, Tompolo's matter has been a recurring event in the Nigerian system. It is not today that the federal government has always wanted to arrest Tompolo and they cannot even arrest him. So at some point people start asking this question: is Tompolo really invincible? Is it that the federal government cannot arrest Tompolo? Now, first of all, Tompolo was born in 1971. He's from the Niger Delta. I cannot pronounce the real name, the real place. It has a very complete. I'm not from Niger Delta, so it's almost impossible for me to pronounce it. He was born in 1971 from a family of 7. He was the only boy, and then the last child of the family. He became the leader of the famous MEND, the movement for the emancipation of the Niger Delta. This is a militant group, and their specification, they specialize on kidnapping and fighting against the exploitation of the Niger Delta, because over time, exploitation of the Niger Delta is more of a normal thing in the Nigerian system. There is oil spillage, they are not being treated well, and what have you. There is pollution and a lot of things. So people actually go through a lot. People that are from that particular region of Nigeria go through a lot. So his militant group was there trying to protect the interest of the people. So in 2015, he was accused of diverting a lot of money with his company from Nimasa. Then the EFCC declared him wanted for an alleged fraud and money laundering. Then he was invited to court. He was sued and invited. He refused to come. Then by 2016, a warrant of arrest was placed for him to be arrested. And boom, Tompolo went missing. Nobody could see Tompolo till he resurfaced again in 2020. So it is not today that Tompolo has been declared wanted. So nothing much was able to be done about that. Then Buhari's administration gave him a contract worth millions to be protecting oil rigs and people that are working in the Niger Delta, because there is always constant kidnap and busting of oil pipeline. Although his company recorded a lot of success, because they arrested some oil thieving ships and a lot of things, and they handed it back to the government. And then fast forward to 2025, on his 54th birthday, he was seen mutilating Naira according to the EFCC. And then people have been saying this guy was declared wanted in 2016. Nobody arrested him. By 2022, the then Buhari administration gave him a contract, and now EFCC has failed to arrest this guy for mutilating Naira. And then this is the same thing they've been doing to other people. So people start asking, is it that Tompolo is invincible? Why is it that federal government cannot arrest Tompolo? Now, there are some factors which we look at, and it feels like Tompolo cannot be arrested, because it is alleged that Tompolo has some tight connections with the government. Yeah, we can further prove this by then Buhari's administration giving him a contract to protect oil facilities in the Niger Delta. So if this guy doesn't have a connection with the government, how on earth will he have been given a contract? And don't forget that this guy is a fugitive. He has been declared wanted in 2016 and nobody arrested him. Instead of the government to focus on the cause of arresting him, they ended up giving him a contract. So don't you think he's invincible? And then another factor is that we're looking at the fact that if you arrest Tompolo, you might start another arrest in the Niger Delta. Yeah, in as much as he gave up arms during the time of President Yaradua, they accepted amnesty and gave up arms. Does it really mean that Tompolo doesn't have access to arms and ammunition? Does it mean that his boys cannot cause chaos again in the Niger Delta? So if you arrest Tompolo again, let's assume you happen to arrest Tompolo, don't you think that there might be a spark and there will be chaos in Niger Delta? So these are some of the factors that I'm looking at, and it feels like Tompolo cannot be arrested. I was going through the EFCC profile on X and their tweet about the Naira mutilation, because a lot of persons was waiting for them, because a lot of other persons has been arrested. The likes of Obi Kubana chief priest were arrested for Naira mutilation, and other persons that was arrested for naira mutilation, and people are asking, why is Tompolo's case different? And the AFC came up with the fact, saying, why we cannot arrest him at this point, that we are feeling that the naira mutilation that was all over the internet could be AI generated. I mean, for me personally, that's like it's very, very laughable. But I understand that this is them using diplomacy. They don't want to sound like, they don't want to appear that to Nigerians that they are not doing the right job, and at the same time they're trying to cover up some certain things, because possibly Tompolo might know a lot of things that maybe if he spills out there might be problem. So instead of the federal government to go after him, they are soft pedaling it, and then they're using others, they're using a lot of things to cover things up, which Nigerians don't understand. Because somebody that has been accused of money laundering and diversion of millions of naira of federal government funds, there was a time that it was alleged that he diverted millions of naira from the massa. I mean, that's a lot of crime already for government to arrest him. But it feels like anytime they declare Tompolo wanted, they cannot even do anything. And at this point, I feel too that the federal government cannot do anything about Tompolo. So Tompolo is almost invincible because of the power he holds, and because of the kind of human being he is, and because of the kind of things he knows. So it feels like Tompolo is very invincible, and I'm not seeing the federal government arresting Tompolo anytime soon. So this is my own page where I come out to say my own views and express myself about how I feel about things, and then feel that one day it will change for better. So thank you for watching today's episode, and see you in the next episode.